again guys, and welcome back to another episode of my crazy collection. So I have many consoles in my collection, and quite a few of those consoles are made by the daddies of gaming, that is Nintendo. But not everything Nintendo touches turns to gold, so today we're going to be looking at one of their least successful consoles, the Wii U. Before we start, here's a little bit of history of the Wii U. So it launched in 2012 and it had very stiff competition from both Sony's PlayStation 4 and Microsoft's Xbox One. But it was the follow-up to the incredibly successful, found in everyone's living rooms at the time, Nintendo Wii. There may be quite a few reasons why the Wii U wasn't quite as successful as the Wii. I think a lot of people can really distinguish it as a separate console. Also, it didn't really have as many apps and kind of streaming services, such as what you did on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, making it more part of the home entertainment system than just a gaming console. Also, at launch, it had a pretty poor amount of launch titles, and also third-party support for the console was a little bit limited just because it was a little bit harder to program for the Nintendo Wii U. So let's look at the hardware for the console. So this is the controller as such for the Nintendo Wii U. So as you can see, it's like a tablet. You can also plug in all the various things you had on the Wii to use on the Wii U, which is really cool if you had like a massive collection of Wii games and Wii controllers. You could use them on your Wii U. So this was a really cool controller to be able to use with the Wii U. It was all touchscreen and you could control it on the television or on here. So you could either play on the TV or on the joypad. The only disadvantage of this was you had to be within a certain distance of the console. When you look at the two consoles side by side, it's important to see how important the Wii U really was. If you compare them, you can really see where they got all their ideas from the Switch. So the Wii U might have not been fully portable, you had to be somewhere in vicinity of the console, but you can see how this Wii U moved on to the Switch, and it's why Nintendo is really kicking ass today in the gaming market. There's a few different versions of the console available. So I own the standard black 32GB model. They also did this in a very sexy Zelda repaint. There's also the slightly smaller white Wii U, which has a 16GB hard drive. You can put a memory card in here, so I'd recommend looking for the black version. When it comes to controllers, as I said, you can use all your Wii accessories, but I would recommend picking up one of these Wii U Pro Controllers. This is the best way to play, other than using this one's touchscreen. This one for kind of first-person shooters and games that don't really utilise a touchscreen is the best way to play. It kind of makes it more a traditional console experience, but try and grab these ones as soon as possible, guys, as these Pro Controllers are getting more and more expensive by the day. Now we know the history of the console, all about the console and the console I own, let's get on to the most important part, and that is the games. So I have just over 50 games for my Nintendo Wii U. There is 156 games that have been released in the PAL region. So let's get into what I've got so far, and at the end of the video I'm going to talk about what might be a very cunning plan for the future of Dan the Games Man. Before we get into the games, I really want to say to you guys something very important about the Wii U. In my eyes, now is the time to collect for this console, as it's an underrated Nintendo console, and we know with all things Nintendo, prices will go up and up. You look at the older Nintendo stuff, it's the stuff you have to pay a premium for now. So a lot of people have just missed out on the Wii U or moved straight onto the Switch, or are replacing their Wii U games with games that have been upgraded for the Switch. So Wii U prices are pretty good at the moment, so it's worth getting these games now or paying a lot more further down the line. Okay, game time, let's get into it. So we're going to start off, because I have to have some kind of order to this video, with the Nintendo first party games that have also appeared on the Switch. So these are games that have kind of ported over to the Switch but originally came out on the Wii U. So the first game we're going to jump into is Yoshi's Woolly World. This is a really cool kidsy kind of cartoony platformer where Yoshi is made of yarn and wool, or whatever you want to call it. It's quite a simple one. It uses the Wii pad really quite nicely with some touch controls. It's a really decent platformer, not too difficult, nice easy one to jump into. Next up we have Super Mario Bros. Wii U, and this is just a classic Mario game. Obviously you can play this now on the Switch, but for your 4-player Mario Party style, well, I shouldn't say Mario Party because you'd be playing Mario Party, but for multiplayer Mario, this is where it's at. You know what it is, classic side-scrolling Mario, need I say more? If you thought Super Mario U was too easy, you can play Super Luigi U. This adds a load more levels, cranks up the difficulty and reduces the time you have to do those levels. If you think you are a master of Mario, jump in this one. This will definitely give you a challenge and is a really good one if you're craving more Mario for your money. If you still need even more Mario, you can get Super Mario Maker. This is a fantastic game as it in theory has infinite levels for Mario. So you can literally jump in and make your own levels or go on levels that people have made to punish you. This one is super awesome. You can have old school Mario, new school Mario, any kind of Mario you imagine, and some of the speed runs and levels I've seen on this are absolutely insane. This game also came in a really cool collector's edition. So it came in this cardboard box, so it looks nice up on the shelf, it's making it a little bit more special, and also inside it has this really nice Mario art book. So it's a really cool little collector's design. They've done a few of these on the Wii U, and this is one of the two I own. The other one of these collector's editions in cardboard I have is Bayonetta 1 and 2 box set. So the original Bayonetta was also released on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, but Nintendo somehow got the rights to have the exclusivity of Bayonetta 2. So many people have missed out on Bayonetta 2. I think soon it's coming out on the Switch, so hopefully more people will get to play it. It was a really strange move to have this exclusive to Nintendo consoles, but I am glad I've added it, as these games are quite crazy. I still need to jump into Bayonetta 2, but it's good to be able to have it on the disc, ready to go. For my money, one of the best puzzle games of recent years is Captain Toad Treasure Hunter. This is really cool. It really uses the gamepad really nicely. You can turn and rotate the levels. It starts off super simple, but by the end you will be pulling your hair out trying to work out these levels. Again, this has been redone on the Switch, but it's definitely worth picking up. Loads of replayability and one of my favourite kind of Nintendo first party titles. This game is a bit of a wild card, as it came out the same day for the Wii U as it did the Switch. This was a really cool move by Nintendo, meaning that people, if they couldn't afford the Switch at launch, could still play this game. Obviously the graphics aren't quite the same as the Switch, but this is Breath of the Wild and this game is absolutely legendary. But to be honest, I have still not finished this one. I have jumped in so many times, but every time I just get overwhelmed. But the physics of this game just amaze me every time, and there's so much to do. The world is massive. Literally, if you see it, you can visit it. I have climbed mountains, I have parasailed, I have dived to the depths of the oceans. This game, for my money, is probably the best Zelda game of all time. Every single Wii U collection needs this Mario Kart. I've said about it in previous videos. I know this is on the Switch now. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the best Mario Kart game of all time. Don't at me. This is what it came from. This is the original. This is fantastic. Donkey Kong is a series we haven't seen for quite a few years. Since the N64 days, please correct me in the comments below if I'm not correct with that statement. This is a really good side-scrolling platform game, but it is a toughie. You need to have thumbs of steel to play this one, but once you get the hang of it, it's a really good platforming game. Another Zelda one, and one of the more strange ones, is Hyrule Warriors. So this is a bit like Dynasty Warriors. You just walk around as one of your favourite Zelda characters, just smashing the living hell out of wave after wave of enemy. It's definitely something a bit different for Zelda. It's not for everyone, but definitely one to check out. Super cheap on the Wii U, worth picking up, and to that collection. Do you like Pokemon? Do you like fighting games? Well, you might enjoy Tekken Tournament. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I always thought it was kind of called Pokemon Tournament. But this is a fighting game using loads of your favourite Pokemon. It's a bit of a strange one. It's very cheap though, so grab it for the collection while you can, nice and cheap. One of my favourite Mario games Nintendo has put out in years is Super Mario 3D World. If for nothing else, you can play as a cat and Mario says meow. See, I even nearly said meow-yo. I really should have done that in the game. But yeah, once again, this has been re-released on the Switch. It's a really good Mario game. It really gets harder later on. This one's super cheap to pick up once again. If you're only just diving in though, I'd probably recommend it on the Switch as you get the added levels which come with that full edition. Xenoblade Chronicle X is a game I haven't actually jumped into yet, but watching trailers for this, the graphics are pretty amazing even on the Wii U. This is one I'm definitely going to put some hours aside to jump into. It is a long RPG, but definitely one that I've been recommended by many people, so looking forward to sticking this one in my Wii U. Another one you can pick up super cheap now, even though I'd probably recommend getting the Switch version, but some massive amounts of hours can be had in multiplayer in this Super Smash Bros. Wii U. I am absolutely trash at this game. One day though, I will get better at this and I will avenge all the losses I've had in this game. Again, I would probably recommend the Switch version so you get the updated roster and so you can just add more characters in. But this one's super cheap, so it's a good one to add into the Wii U collection now before those prices skyrocket. So the final game for this set is Zelda Wind Waker HD. This is one of two games that have been updated to HD graphics for the Wii U, the other one being Twilight Princess, but they are getting super expensive. This is a Zelda I haven't jumped into yet, but I do really like the look of it. But word of warning, these Zelda games, because they're Zelda games, are getting more and more expensive, so grab them now while you can. The next set of games we're going to go through are Nintendo first-party games that are exclusive to the Wii U. So as the time of recording this video, you can only play these games on your Wii U. And I just want to get this one out of the way as it still pains me to this day, and that is Star Fox Zero. This game is an absolute, it's just terrible, it's so bad. I really wanted to like it, but the controls are so terrible. Basically, they made it so you had to use the game controller for the Wii U. So you were kind of looking at the game controller, then the telly, then the game controller, then the telly, and it just did not work. It is absolutely terrible. Maybe one day I will fall back in love. I just want a decent Star Fox game. So this game came out, and also I have this one here, which is Star Fox Guard. So this is just a download code. There's also a physical edition of this. This is a kind of cool little tower defense game. This is just a download code in a box, just a kind of a cool one to add to the collection. I'm sure the code is fully expired, but I'm still on the lookout for the physical disc edition of this one. It's not all doom and gloom though. Let's move on. This one is Super Mario Color Splash. This is a fantastic Paper Mario game. If you've played any of them, you know what to expect. Also, if you know about the previous Paper Mario games, you know they are jumping up in price so much. The one on the GameCube now is so expensive. It's starting to get out of my price range. I'm just losing my grip on ever adding it to the collection. So I'm glad I've added this one before it becomes a £1 million game. Next up, we have Mario Party 10. So it can't really be a Nintendo console without a Mario Party game. You know what these are by now. You don't need to have played the previous 9 games. These are just fantastic party games. Grab a few mates, grab a few beers, grab some controllers and stick this in your Wii U and have a great time. Kirby and the Rainbow Paintbrush was a game that really surprised me. I did not think I would enjoy this game, but I was kind of laughing with tears rolling down my face playing this one, just drawing little rainbows and having Kirby follow them. It's a game that uses the gamepad really well for the Wii U. It's only ever really going to probably work on the Wii U. It's definitely worth picking up. It's a strange one, but it's a lot of fun. Wii Party U is that kind of party game. It's just loads of little mini games. They're all super simple, easy to pick up. Stick this one in with your mates. Now a good couple of hours. Nothing too amazing, nothing groundbreaking, but a nice little cheap one to add into your Wii U collection. A game I never really understood, didn't really get the idea of, don't really get the appeal, is Splatoon. This is super cheap. It's probably the cheapest Wii U game you can pick up. I know a lot of people play the new ones on the Switch. I don't really get it, you know, it's more probably, I can see the kind of ideal and appeal of it. It's a more kid-friendly kind of first-person shooting game. A lot less death, a lot less blood, a lot less guts. I just haven't played it, so let me know in the comments below, am I missing out on this one? Is my old tarnished brain just not really able to have the fun that is this game? Let me know. When Mario is not playing football or golf or saving a princess or karting or just doing one of his many other activities other than plumbing, he might be playing tennis. So it's just another one of the classic Mario kind of sports games where it just has the standard kind of sports control with that Mario repaint. But it is a lot of fun. There's definitely some fun to be had here. It's quite a cheap one and the Mario sports games are always pretty cool. On the topic of sports games, it seems that Sonic and Mario have put their differences aside to go to the Winter Olympics, which is really nice. You know, it's always good to see other gaming mascots hanging out. So this again is a really good party game. All your favourite Mario and Sonic characters just hanging out doing winter sports. Contrary to what I said earlier in the video, this is definitely the cheapest game you can pick up for the Wii U, and that is Nintendo Land. I think this was actually pre-installed or bundled in with a lot of games. It's very simple kind of mini games. It's not quite got the appeal of Wii Sports, but it's a bit of fun for an hour, hour and a half. Nothing too major, but it's a really good way to kind of see what the Wii U can do and understand that gamepad. Next up, we have a staple for any video game console ever made these days, and that is Lego games. So the first one we have is Star Wars The Force Awakens. Really good, one of my favourite Star Wars Lego games. Really looking forward to the Skywalker saga coming out. 9 films in one game. It's going to be fantastic. Can't wait for that one. Next up, we have the Lego Movie game, which is actually one of my favourite movies. You would not expect it, a big burly tattooed guy like me, but I do love the Lego Movie. Next up is a game that was originally only on the Wii U, and that is Lego City Undercover. This is actually a bit like Grand Theft Auto, so it's free roaming and open city, but it is all made of Lego. Definitely one to check out, especially if you're bored of the more generic Lego games. This one really gives you something a bit different. Lastly, we have Lego Batman 3. I think there's been, well, 3 of these games now, but the Lego Batman games are also really good, and I do really like the Lego Batman movie. This next set is kind of wildcard games. So, first up we have Resident Evil Revelations. So this game was originally released on the 3DS and then brought over to the Wii U. It has also now been taken onto other consoles. It's a really good Resident Evil game. It's kind of creepy, it's going back to that more survival horror kind of feeling. It's episodic, it's really good, it's definitely worth checking out. It's now also on the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, and I'm sure other consoles. The other one we have here is Monster Hunter 3, which is also on the 3DS. So it's kind of up to you. Do you prefer playing these games handheld or on your Wii U? Or in the case of Resident Evil, on different consoles? Let me know in the comments below. Normally on any console I would have a stack of sports games, but I only actually have this one sports game on the Wii U. I think that's because I just saw it or got it in a bundle super cheap. So I don't really go out of my way to add sports games into my collection. They kind of just weasel their way in when I'm not looking. Either part of a bundle or just being so cheap, it's rude not to. But I'm sure there's loads more sports games for the Wii U, and I'll probably talk about them later in the video. On the topic of games that kind of sneak into my collection, we have the following Just Dance games, which I picked up super cheap. There is a reason I grabbed these, and I will speak about that at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around to see why I bought these games. So here we have a couple here. So we have Just Dance 2014, Just Dance 2015, Just Dance 2016, and you guessed it, Just Dance 2017. So I really just like to get absolutely drunk at the weekend, slam these on and dance around the room in my underwear. Said no one ever. These are basically just super cheap. They came in a bundle and it's just good to add to get the numbers up in the Wii U collection. And I'll explain about those numbers, remember, at the end of the video. So this bundle I have just described as the Ubisoft bundle. It's just random games that don't really fit in anywhere else, made by Ubisoft. So first up we have Sports Connection, which is kind of like a third-party Wii Sports kind of game, except it has karting. It's just your general kind of party sports game. Next we have Rabbids Land, which is another game I do not understand in the slightest. I don't know what a rabbit is. I'm not the biggest fan of Rayman or Rabbids or whatever this is even meant to be, but it's just another game that came into the collection. Speaking of Rayman, we have not one but 2 copies of Rayman, one of which I got super cheap and it is sealed, and as we know the price of sealed games will skyrocket over the years, so it's good to have one to play and one in the box. Next up is a collection of games that are on other consoles as well. So most of these are pretty similar on the Wii U. They might have some small differences, but they're all pretty much the same as they are on every other console. There's actually a surprising lack of these games. As I said in the beginning of the video, third-party support for the console was not amazing, so let's dive in and see what third-party games we have that were not exclusive to the Wii U. First up, we have Shovel Knight, which is kind of your classic side-scrolling 8-bit adventure game. This one is actually one that's getting more expensive, so if you can pick it up, it's worth picking up. Also, it has some pretty cool amiibo support. If you can see behind me, I do have a golden Shovel Knight amiibo, so it's a cool game to pick up on the Wii U, if for nothing else, just so you have that amiibo support. Next up, we have Avengers Battle for Earth. This is a game I haven't actually played yet. It looks basically kind of like your basic Marvel beat-up game. A little bit more cartoony, but it does look like it uses a touchpad quite nicely. So let me know if you've played this one below, if it's worth checking out. Here we have Darksiders 1 and 2. So this was a game I originally jumped in on the Xbox 360, but I think these games are slightly updated with slightly better graphics, so it's definitely good to pick these ones up on the Wii U. These are kind of leaning towards being the definitive editions of these games, so it's really cool to add them. These ones as well are slowly jumping up in price, so it's worth picking them up while you can. One of the few karting games that nearly gets close, but also nowhere near the grace that is Mario Kart is Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. The kind of cool thing about this one is 1 minute you could be flying, then you're in a boat, then you're in a race car. It hasn't quite got the amount of races as it does in, say, a Mario game. I don't think the Sonic cast is quite as diverse as Mario Kart, but it's still a really solid kart racing game. This next one is a bit of a strange one, Zombie U, which was one of the original launch titles for the Wii U. So this was a game that when I first saw it, I was super interested. It has permadeath, it looked really dark and gritty, and it's really cool how you use the touchpad to play. The reason this is not in my Wii exclusives pile is because this is now on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. It's kind of a flawed game, but the ideas around it were really good. It's definitely one to check out. It's super cheap on the Wii U, and I would say for my money it's probably the best way to play it just because of the added use of the touchpad. Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two is a game I just picked up. Don't really know a lot about it, so let me know if you've played it in the comments below. But you know, it's like anything Nintendo, anything Mario, anything Disney normally goes up in price, so it's worth grabbing it, keeping it, getting it good. It couldn't really be a gaming console without having Call of Duty on it. So there was 2 Call of Duty games released on the Wii U, this one and Call of Duty Ghosts. So I only have this one so far, so I am looking to add Ghosts into my collection. I don't really think, I'd probably say the Wii U is the best way to play these games, but who knows? Let me know, does the touchpad really change this game up, or is it just the same? Call of Duty. As with Call of Duty, the same can be said of Assassin's Creed. If it's a gaming console these days, it probably has an Assassin's Creed on it. Has anyone been any on Switch yet? Or have they remastered? They might have remastered something on the Switch, but this is Assassin's Creed 3. I think essentially the same game, probably with the same glitches, but with a little bit of touchpad control. I think as well, correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong, you can also get Black Flag on the Wii U, so I definitely want to add that one into the collection. The final one of these games that are available on other consoles is The Amazing Spider-Man, and this one is one I'm glad I picked up fairly cheap. The Amazing Spider-Man games are getting more and more expensive due to Disney taking the license away, but this one I picked up super cheap, and the Wii U version is the most expensive by far. Probably just due to the fact there was less copies pressed, and also this is the Ultimate Edition. So it's one of the more pricey ones in my Wii U collection, one I'm definitely glad I grabbed now rather than down the road. So we are on to the final games of the collection. And this one might be a bit of a controversial one, but you know me, I love a bit of controversy. These are games which I think the definitive edition of them is on the Wii U. So I think for my money, the Wii U is the best way to play these games. The first one is a bit of a strange one because if I'd made this video about a week ago, it would have probably been false. But that is Mass Effect 3 Special Edition, which before they just re-released the trilogy remastered, I would have said for my money this was the best way to play this game. The touchpad really adds to it, but hindsight is a bit of a bugger, and a week later I'd probably say to go out and buy the definitive edition, the remastered one, on the PS4 or the Xbox One. But still, this is a really good version of this game on the Wii U. Next up is Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and this plays really well on the Wii U. It's a kind of classic Tekken game. I just think it uses the touchpad really well and really adds to the experience, making it probably, other than Smash Bros, the best fighting game on your Wii U. This one is definitely the best on the Wii U, and that is Deus Ex Human Revolution. The touchpad adds so much to this. They have patched away the annoying bosses so you can actually use your stealth skill rather than just shooting the bosses, which was a big criticism of this game. This is a really good game on the Wii U. The definitive version is on the Wii U. Definitely recommend this one. Batman Arkham City Armored Edition is also another game which is fantastic on the Wii U. It uses the gamepad amazingly. It really makes you feel like Batman, and the gamepad is kind of your bat tech. It really adds the experience. For my money, it's best on the Wii U. This next one I may be incorrect about. I have not played Minecraft on the Switch yet, but Minecraft on the Wii U does add a lot of Mario textures, which just makes it a lot cooler in my eyes. I'm sure you can probably add them on PC. I'm sure people have patched it and added stuff in. But if you're just like me and just want to jump into a game nice and simply off the disc, you can add all your Mario stuff into Minecraft, which, you know, Minecraft, you can run it on your phone, you can run it on a NASA-powered computer. It doesn't matter how strong the console is, it's still going to be Minecraft. So, for my money, with the Mario stuff, you might as well play it on your Wii U. Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge is not really my kind of game. I do not have a lot of patience for these games where you have to learn the pattern of everything that moves in the entire game. But on the Wii U, it is slightly tweaked, it has gamepad support, and it really brings you into the game. So definitely recommend this one on your Wii U. Thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. That, at the moment, is my Wii U collection. So, if you remember at the start of the video, I said there's 156 games for the PAL region on the Wii U. And I've always wanted to go for a complete collection of any console. I have just over 50 games. I have a lot of the more expensive games. Obviously, there is a few out there that are still super expensive. But, as I said earlier in the video, like, I haven't got many of the sports games. There's like cheap Disney Infinity games. Some of the Skylanders games are really cheap. Some of them are really expensive. There's loads of cheap sports games. I can probably add 30 to 40 games to this collection super cheap. So, guys, I have not got any experience of going for a complete collection. So let me know in the comments below. Would you recommend it? Is it something that's just going to ruin me, break my brain, break my heart, and break my bank account? Please let me know in the comments below. There we have it then. Another episode of my crazy collection with the criminally underrated Wii U. As I've said multiple times for the video, now is the time to buy for the Wii U. Don't watch this video back in 4 to 5 years and think what could have been. Grab those games now, your wallet will thank you later. It's a fantastic console, it's great fun to collect for. You may have to do a bit more searching, a bit more looking in some weird places to find those games, but it really pays off. Let's wrap the video up there, guys. This is a super long one, so thank you for getting all the way through to the end. Let me know in the comments below, do you collect for the Wii U, or do you plan to collect for the Wii U? Or is it a console you've just passed by? Hopefully after watching this you want to add one into your gaming collection. I know it's one of my favourites to collect for. It's a strange one, but that's the way I like it. So, thanks for watching this video. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe for more great gaming content. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at DanTheGamesMan. And without further ado, the last thing to say is, keep playing the game. See you soon.